trade. Wọ́n wá kó wa papọ̀ sínú ìlú kan tó ń pè ní Nàìjíríà. Nàìjíríà yẹn gangan òun ni setback. Kò sí tẹ́nì kankan lè ṣe láti fi mú setback yẹn pé kó kúrò nínú ayé wa. Àtẹni tó ń bẹ nílùú òyìnbó, àtẹni tó ń bẹ nílé, ebi tó ń pa wá lénìí kò jẹ́ kí ebi máa pa wá. Ìṣẹ́ tó mú wa lénìí kò jẹ́ kí ìṣẹ́ máa mú wa. Gbogbo ìdí yìí làwa ṣe ń pariwo pé ìran wa tẹ́lẹ́dùmarè dá ó ti wà nínú wàhálà o. A ti wà láàárín àwọn tí wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa. Àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa, ọmọ Haúsá ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa, òyìnbó ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa, Amẹ́ríkà ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wa. Àwọn gbogbo ìlú pátápátá tó bẹ lórílẹ̀-èdè ayé gbogbo wọn ló ń jowó wa látara ti Elédùmarè tó fún wa níbi táwa náà wà. Ó wá kù sí mi lọ́wọ́, ó kù sí wọ lọ́wọ́ pé kájọ fọwọ́ kún ọ̀rọ̀ ìrìn àjò yìí kó lè jẹ́ kó yá. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ jókòó sẹ́yìn tí ẹ fọwọ́ kún, kí ló dé tí ẹ ṣe fi fọwọ́ kún, àti pé kí nìkan tí ẹ ń wò, àti pé ìgbà wo lẹ fi fọwọ́ kún. Ẹ má jẹ́ kéèyàn kankan sọ fún wa pé ká lọ máa try láti make Nigeria as a country. Nigeria ò lè jẹ́ country mọ́ torí pé it was never and it will never be a country. And these are all the reasons in the world that we will continue to highlight those most important gray area. Let us come together now today. Let us come as Yoruba people and decide the fate of our life. There is a future for us. That future is currently in stagnant. It is not moving forward. Many of us will die before we are 60 years old. That is what the World Bank is saying. They will continue to use Nigeria as a statistics. And if that is what you prefer, we don't prefer that, because orí kan ju orí kan lọ. Àwọn òyìnbó tèmi ń bá gbé for the last 24 years, they are not perfect than us. They are not the most important people in the world. But in táwọn bàbá ńlá wọn ṣe, òun làwọn ń jèrè ẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà ṣiṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ fáwọn ìran tó ń bọ̀ lọ́la, nítorí pé ìran tó ń bọ̀ lọ́la máa question èmi àti wọ́ pé nígbà tó ń pariwo òmìnira, nígbà tó ń pariwo freedom, what role did you play? I am playing my role. You have to play yours as well. Don't sit back and say it has nothing to do with me. Look, you can sit on the Twitter, you can sit on the Facebook. That is not going to give us the freedom. What should give us the freedom is everybody asking for one thing: the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. Self-determination is not a crime. And that is what I would discuss for 30 minutes before I start my own beautiful week. Everybody has the right, and that right will be respected, either they like it or not. Don't look at us, Awatawani, abroad, as the most special human being. I live here doesn't mean you are not a special human being. Tó ń ràn lára tiẹ̀ náà ló ń ràn lára tèmi. Èmi náà lè wà ní Nàìjíríà kó máa polongo fún mi kí n má gbọ́. Don't look at people like us and say àwa la dájú. We are not the best. You are even much better. But unfortunately, the way the situation is means that we are all going to struggle together. Whether I live in US, I live in Canada, I live in Malaysia, I live in any African countries. Ìyà tí òun jẹ nílé, òun ló affect mi. Lánàá, ìkan náà àwọn tí a mọ̀ nílé, ó ń sọ pé òun ò tí ì jẹun títí di alẹ́ àná, kò jẹ́ kí ó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Àmọ́ ìdí tó ṣe rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé Nàìjíríà ti tóbi jù for it to be managed. Let us break it to the pieces. Kò ń ṣàwa la máa kọ́kọ́ pín, kò dẹ̀ ń ṣàwa la máa jẹ́ the last country tó máa pín. Ìlú sì máa pín lẹ́yìn Nàìjíríà. Russia pín nígbà tó ń pè wọ́n ní Soviet Union. Yugoslavia pín. Britain tí à ń pè yìí gan fúnra rẹ̀ tó pín sọ́nà tó pọ̀. Àwọn kan ti jáde, àwọn kan sì tún máa jáde tó ń pè ní Scotland. Ẹ jẹ́ play anthem wa. This broadcast will be ended at exactly 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. here in London. As I speak to you right now, it is 6:29 a.m. Your time in Nigeria is 1 hour ahead. During the winter, the time is set backwards. My name again is OLAYOMI KOIKI, popularly known as Koikimedia. The right to self-determination will be explained, will be given out, and it is entirely up to everybody to grab it. No politician can fix Nigeria. It does not matter how much they try. Wọ́n lè ná níyàn láti fi fix Nigeria, but Nigeria itself cannot be fixed. The British knew that, and that was why the British rigged the election, because one mọ̀ pé tó bá jẹ́ pé ìran Yorùbá ló kọ́kọ́ pick Nigeria, kò ní síbi tó wà lénìí. And that is the reason that led to so many things. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ń béèrè pé, but what they gave us is regional government. You will not get a regional government anymore. We now want a full, total independent away from the crazy country. Tóyìnbó dá sílẹ̀. Let's start with this. Iṣẹ́ wà orílẹ̀-èdè. Kàgbéga. Ìgbàgbọ́. Láti bẹ̀rù. Ká ṣiṣẹ́. Ìṣọ̀kan. Ìkẹjẹ́. Tẹ̀síwájú. Ọ̀pọ̀ ire. Àtòhun. Ọmọ Odùduwà. Bọ̀ sí ipò. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀ tí Elédùmarè tó dá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìran Yorùbá. Àmọ́ ìmọ́lẹ̀ wa kò ní tàn o, àfi tá bá ń parọ́ fúnra wa. If anybody this morning tó bá ń sọ pé ìmọ́lẹ̀ yẹn máa tàn, kò ní tàn. And this is the reason why I'll be discussing kí ni wọ́n ń pè ní self-determination. Self-determination is a right for an independent Yoruba country. Nínú ẹ̀, a máa ṣe government. Nínú ẹ̀, a máa set political party. Nínú ẹ̀, a máa run economy tiwa. Nínú ẹ̀, a máa run institution tiwa, judiciary. A máa run ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan tí ó máa jẹ́ kí wọ́n fi ń pè wá náà ní government. So let's start with this. Every day people ask us, what is the reason why you want a Yoruba country? What are the reasons behind it? Why is it not possible to even establish political party in that crazy country? Nigeria. Nigeria is a crazy country. There's no amount of political party that you try to set up that is not going to allow you to set up a system that works for me and you. What we should all come together to do right now is to say that we are pulling out of Nigeria. Nigeria, it is not the kind of system that is going to work. Under the United Nations Charter, self-determination goes like this. The United Nations Charter and Resolution, Chapter 1, Article 1, Part 2, state the purpose of the United Nations Charter is to develop friendly relations among nations. Nigeria is not one of those nations. Nigeria was put together for one particular purpose, and that purpose is known as corporate entity. Corporate entity is defined as any business organization, whether incorporated or uncorporated. Nigeria is either it is corporated or uncorporated. So when you look at all the crimes that has taken place since the establishment of Nigeria in 1914 till date, you realize that the first thing the British did during the colony was to take away as many of our resources without building and developing the area. They set up a railway gauge that was moving resources, that was taking it from those points straight into the ship and then sending it to Britain and around the world. Before that, They were using human beings like myself and you for 500 years. Multiply your age, including those of your generation. Many of you should trace back your roots. Ǹjẹ́ family tèmi wà lára àwọn tó kó nínú ẹrú? Because for 500 years, Britain was moving many innocent lives. Obìnrin, ọkùnrin, ọmọdé, àgbàlagbà, gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹrú. Tó bá mọ̀ tán pè lẹ́rú, ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀. Ìbí wọn náà ti rí ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ tó ti gbà sílé rí, àbí wọ́n gan ti ṣe ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ rí. Kò wá ṣe ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ tí a sign agreement, because mo rántí pé àwa náà ti lọ́mọ ọ̀dọ̀ rí. Nígbà tó mú wọn dé, a sọ iye tá máa san fún ọmọ ọ̀dọ̀ wa, a sọ ìgbà tó máa lò pẹ̀lú wa, a sọ bóyá a máa fẹ́ kó kàwé àbí kò ní kàwé, a fẹ́ in tó máa ṣe leléyìí, in báyìí ni kò ní ṣe. But nígbà tó ń kó wa ní ẹrú, in tó ṣe ni pé wọ́n make any payment. It was a free business. They were moving millions of people in Africa for 500 years. Today, our move Arawanisi to travel around the world looking for a greener pasture. There's nothing wrong in that. But when they are complaining, especially because there's nothing they can do. And you have every right to stay here, because Britain Africa for 200 years, they were controlling the empire around the world. So one thing today we should be talking about is Nigeria still a business entity? The answer is yes. The answer will remain yes, because we still have vast amount of natural resources that can last us for the next 3,000 years. So they need as much to pull out. But if you're expecting United Nations, one of the criminal organizations in the world today that doesn't have any more say in the world that is operating today, to come and give you a freedom, it is not going to happen. United Nations will not allow any country to break if you do not do whatever needs to be done to allow yourself to be free. The military is controlled outside. The government of Nigeria is controlled from outside. Your finance is controlled from outside. Your port is controlled from outside. Even you as an individual, what if you're Yahoo? And there is vast amount of evidence to back all these. All you just have to do is look into and ask yourself, are we truly who we are told we are? What led to the amalgamation? What was the reason behind it? And is it possible to pull out from it? The answer is yes. But many Yorùbá lẹ́ni wọ́n sì ń fi ọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n fi ń ta yín. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó yẹ kó dá sí tó jẹ́ àwọn elite, àwọn tó yẹ kó dá sí tó jẹ́ àwọn olóṣèlú, àwọn tó yẹ kó dá sí tó jẹ́ àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n, kàkà kí gbogbo wa ká béèrè ìbéèrè kan pé ǹjẹ́ àjọṣepọ̀ wa àti Nàìjíríà ó sì wà in a full working system? They are saying that it is not, but Ọlọ́run máa sọ̀kalẹ̀. Jésù ò wá síbi kankan láti wá fix anything. Ẹ yé parọ́ mọ́ Jésù Kristi. Ẹ yé parọ́ mọ́ Ànábì Muhammad. Ẹ yé parọ́ mọ́ àwọn ìṣẹ̀ṣe. What we should all ask for is who we are. Ta ni wá gangan? Are we those that we are told we are in 2024? And are we still using a real identity? We've been given a fraudulent identity called Nigeria. And all that happened because some people, as at the time, wanted to become very powerful against each other. And let's go with this. In 1914, there was what they called the amalgamation of Nigeria, which was what we called joining of the Northern Protectorate. Tamosi Ilẹ̀ Haúsá lẹ́ni. Ilẹ̀ Haúsá là ń pè ní Northern Protectorate. Ilẹ̀ Igbo àti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ń pè ní Southern Protectorate. These two entities kò ń pàdé tẹ́lẹ̀. Ọ̀nà méjì náà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ lórúkálukú dá wà àwọn entity mẹ́ta yìí. If you're thinking that because Igbo ni problem it is why the British brought us together. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé a máa ma ní problem. A máa ma ṣépè fúnra wa, a ní like ara wa, a máa ma búra wa, a máa ma pera wa lóríṣiríṣi orúkọ. Just the same way táwọn òyìnbó náà tó like ara wọn. Àwọn German ò like English and they will never like them for so many reasons. And I'll tell you why. Britain wà lára àwọn tó create European Union, wọ́n wà lára àwọn tó pull out. Ní gbogbo ìlú pátápátá, Britain nìkan ni kò allow kó change currency wọn for giving them the power of European country. 27 of them. Africa jù wọ́n lọ. Africa has about 54 different countries. But yet, those smaller countries in European country would determine our fate. I am older than Rishi Sunak. Prime Minister wa nílùú mo dàgbà jù lọ lọ́jọ́ orí. But the question is, ǹjẹ́ inti Prime Minister wa ń sọ lèmi máa tẹ̀lé gẹ́gẹ́ bí iṣẹ́ ibi tí àwọn bàbá ńlá ẹ̀ ti ṣe fún wa? I would not. I live here with them. Èmi gan ló yẹ kí n máa sọ pé kò sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, and I have so many people like that. Ó sì ní cousin mi kan tó pè mí lánàá, ó ní wọ́n ló mọ problem tó kó dání pẹ̀lú ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Ó kúkú gbé ní Nàìjíríà, ṣèbí báyìí náà àwọn tó mọ à ń gbé. Why are you concerned about what is happening in that shito country? Tó bá fẹ́ lọ síbẹ̀ lọ ṣọlidé kó padà wá sí bíbá. But sometimes people go and they don't come back. Brother wa tí bomb blast ìbálára, wọ́n ti sin brother wa ìyẹn Kẹ́hìndé Olúwaláṣẹ, kọ́lọ́n bẹ́ẹ̀ Elédùmarè kó bá wa tẹ̀sáfẹ́fẹ́ rẹ̀. Ìlú bàbá ẹ̀ ló lọ kó tó di pé àwọn terrorists wọ́n bomb ìlú Ìbàdàn ní Bódìjà, even though governor yóò ní balls láti sọ fún yín pé wọ́n bomb Ìbàdàn ni. Èmi ní balls láti sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. They are part of the system. So today, tá à ń pariwo pé ẹ jẹ́ ká dìde ká béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa, ẹ̀tọ́ yàn sí nínú election cycle kankan mọ́. Tí Tinubu bá ṣe ìjọba ẹ̀ tán, it will be very difficult for us to return back as a people bá fẹ́ di president in Nigeria, because you're talking about literally bí Fáyọ̀ṣe ṣe sọ nìkan tó sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tó sọ̀rọ̀ nínú àwọn TV station wọn, ó ní Buhari dá wa padà by 50 years behind. The question then is, báwo la ṣe fẹ́ catch up with that 50 years tí Tinubu bá ṣe 8 years ẹ̀ tán? We will still be left with 42 years. The 42 years divided by another 8 years cycle, after only 5 cycle of election in 42 years. Are you saying that we should fix Nigeria in the next 42 years? Ǹjẹ́ wọ́n rò pé àwọn North, I am not here to say all the Northerners, but we know that there is no more North. Gbogbo tó ń pè ní North lẹ́ni is no longer North. Gbogbo tó ń pè ní North lẹ́ni ó ti wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn Fulani. The Fulanis are people that are like, you know, they are very, very crafty people. They've been able to penetrate in the system. They've become very powerful. One of them is Ganduje. Ganduje is a Fulani man, and yet he has become so powerful. Ó ṣe deputy governor lẹ́ẹ̀mejì, ó ṣe governor lẹ́ẹ̀mejì. That means pé ó ti fọ́ndì nísàlẹ̀ àwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀wẹ̀, just like Buhari, the dead or alive, the most sadist president that we've ever had. Bóyá ó ti kú ni, bóyá ó wà láyé ni, Buhari should never be forgiven by the Yoruba people tí ayé máa fi parẹ́. That is if ayé máa parẹ́. Because in tí Buhari ṣe, òun ló ń lọ lọ́nkàn yẹn. Buhari knew that he was not going to fix Nigeria. What Buhari did was to empower the Fulanis around the world to come into Nigeria and kill as many of us from the economic side. Buhari ló fund the Dangote project, just like bó ṣe fund ara wọn látàláyé ti dá. Ìwọ wá rò pé ní ọkàn tiẹ̀ at the age, if compared to Baba Akintoye ń sọ, Baba Akintoye is 89 years old. Ó ti ṣèjọba rí nínú Nigeria during the Second Republic as a senator ní ọdún tí wọ́n lọ́hùn níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. They thought they wanted to fix Nigeria. They thought they could beat the world and build a Nigeria that will work for every one of us. Ìwọ náà wá ń rò pé wàá wá ṣe the same thing. Ṣó dìgbà tí ìwọ náà bá pé 89 bí Baba Akintoye kó tó wá pull out. The reason why Baba Akintoye was able to understand Nigeria is because for the last decades and decades, Baba yẹn wà nínú system tó fi mọ̀ pé Nigeria yìí ǹjẹ́ ó lè tẹ̀síwájú, it will never move forward. Kàkà bẹ́ẹ̀, ó sọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá di olòṣì àti tálákà. Àwa ń pariwo pé kí ìran wa kó bọ́ta kúrò nínú oko ẹrú. Ẹ̀yin kan wá complain pé ká fix Nigeria látara kéékèèké tẹ́ fẹ́ rí jẹ. Yes, a lè máa ṣe politics lẹ́nìí, kò sẹ́ni kankan bá ń jà sí. Mo ní tẹ́ bá ní opportunity, ẹ̀yin náà ẹ jẹ tẹ́ fẹ́ jẹ látara pé Tinubu wà níbẹ̀ nísìn. But tí Tinubu bá lọ tán, ṣe máa rántí pé àti MC Olúọmọ àti kò MC Olúọmọ àti vice president àti kò vice president àti gbogbo ẹ̀yin tó bá fún ní position, gbogbo yín ló máa yọ títí kan gbogbo àwọn ministers. Ibo ni minister tó bá Buhari ṣiṣẹ́ wà lénìí? Gbogbo wọn máa ti kúrò. Bó ṣe máa rí nìyẹn, wọ́n máa yọ ọlọ́pàá tó ń fún wa nífọ̀kànbalẹ̀ pé ọlọ́pàá ọmọ Yorùbá ló wà níbẹ̀, ìyẹn ẹgbẹ́ tó kù. Wọ́n máa yọ lágbájá gẹ́gẹ́ bí chief of staff, wọ́n tún máa fi gàǹbàrí míì sí tó máa ṣe tó ń wù. And gbogbo iṣẹ́ tó ń ṣe lénìí, Britain ló báàkì àwọn northerners because bó ṣe back wọn nìyẹn during that time, and they are still doing the same thing. Wọ́n officially gbé Nàìjíríà lé gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́, wọ́n gbé Nàìjíríà lé ọwọ́ àwọn north lọ́wọ́. Ìwọ wá rò pé bàbá tiẹ̀ tó fix Nàìjíríà, ìwọ ló máa wá fix Nàìjíríà. Ta ló sọ fún ẹ pé bàbá ẹ̀ tó rí Nàìjíríà fix, ìwọ ló máa wá fix Nàìjíríà? Why are we Yoruba people living in denial? Kí ló dé tá à ń parọ́ fúnra wa? But ẹ fẹ́ believe in Jesus Christ, ẹ fẹ́ believe in Ànábì, but èyí táwa ń sọ kò jẹ́ kó wọ̀nyí lára pé iṣẹ́ tí à ń pariwo lénìí, ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa kájọ fọwọ́ sí, ká sọ pé enough is enough. Rather, we are all sitting backwards. Àwọn kan lay back, àwọn kan ní kò pa wọn, ẹ máa bá lọ. Àwọn kan tẹ́ ń sọ pé àwọn refract ló ń ṣe. Àwọn kan tẹ́ ń ní pé ìtàn ṣe yẹn kò yé àwọn dáadáa. In 1914, Southern Nigeria was joined with Northern Nigeria. Níbi tí jàǹbá ti kọlù wá nìyẹn, kò ń ṣọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Biafra fẹ́ dọ́gunlẹ̀, àwọn lọ́ba regional government jẹ́. Má jẹ́ kí àwọn kankan fúlẹ̀, máa béèrè pé kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ before 1914? Ǹjẹ́ Nàìjíríà ló ń pera wa? Olúkálùkù dá dúró gẹ́gẹ́ bí Elédùmarè ṣe dá wa. Àwọn Britain, ìlú tí mò ń gbé, àwọn ló kó bá ìran ilé ayé wa after tó ti kó wa lẹ́rú for 500 years. Títí di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí, wọ́n náwọn ní sanwó repatriation nítorí pé kí ni owó yẹn l'Abíọ́lá béèrè ló fi gbẹ̀mí ẹ̀. Àtẹ̀sọ́pá afẹ́ repatriation kọ́ di owó yẹn mú, àmọ́ kó fi wá sílẹ̀ kí àwa náà lè ráyé gbé, kí wọn náà lè máa move bó ṣe wọ̀n ẹ́. Tó bá dé airport láàárọ̀ yìí, wàá rá àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tí kò tó nǹkankan tó ń travel pẹ̀lú British passport. Wọ́n lórí méjì. Wọ́n gbé Nàìjíríà lé wa lọ́wọ́, wọ́n ní ká máa ṣe Commonwealth. Ìbéèrè ni pé what is the benefit of the Commonwealth sí ilé ayé wa lérè? Àǹfààní wo ni Commonwealth ń ṣe ju pé jàǹbá tó ti ṣe fún ìran wa, òun náà ló ṣe ń bá lọ yẹn. And a lot of you will come out and still want to defend Nigeria. As we speak today, gbogbo population Britain, láàárọ̀, the whole population of United Kingdom, even as at 1914, let's take you back to some kind of history based on what I have here on Google. Like I said, I only have another 15 more minutes. We hope to be doing something like this if I have the strength. Just some 30 minutes. Láti fi bára wa sọ kódó ọ̀rọ̀. Apart from the full program that we do on a daily basis. In 1901, just about almost 13 years, established in Nigeria, gbogbo population UK was 38 million. In 1911, títí dé 1921, after tó ti amalgamate in Nigeria, àwa Yorùbá, àwa Africa wà lára àwọn tó bá wọn lọ jà ogun World War I àti World War II, because as at that time, àwọn ni wọ́n direct ayé ilẹ̀ Africa. Wọ́n wá kọ́ àwọn bàbá wa. Títí di bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀, ọ̀sán owó fáwọn bàbá yẹn, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ bàbá wa tó kú nínú ogun tí kò kàn wá. Ogun tó tún lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ nísìn, ogun tó kàn Africa ni. But Africa ló fẹ́ fi ṣe base. A ṣe rí pé Russia ó ń jà nínú Africa, àwọn West wọ́n ń jà nínú Africa. Wọ́n wá sọ Africa di guinea pigs. Wọ́n wá ń fi wá ṣe oríṣiríṣi tó wù wọ́n. Ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa ni wọ́n ti ń test gbogbo àìsàn tó ń ṣe wọ́n, because àìsàn ń ṣe wọ́n tó pọ̀. So tó bá nídìí ibi tó ti fẹ́ test ẹ̀, wọ́n sọ̀dọ̀ wá di lab. Kódà àwọn kan tẹ́ ń sọ pé Dangote project yẹn ó ní lab nínú, èmi ò ní evidence ẹ̀. Ní 1911 títí dé 1921, population Britain lọ sí 42 million. Ní 1921 títí dé 1931, population wọn di 44 million. But bí a ti ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ lénìí, gbogbo population UK tí wọ́n fi ń pè ní United Kingdom is 67.33 million. Gross GDP wọn tán pè ní GDP is 3.1 trillion US dollars as at 2021. Population growth one is 0.4% annually. Life expectancy tí bá gbé nílùú yìí, tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà, tí mo sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation, tí mo rán balẹ̀ ayé mi lọ, tí mo tẹ̀ mọ̀ pé mo ní kankan, I am expected to live up to 80 years old according to life expectancy. 80 years old. Many of you today will not live in this kind of statistics that I've just given. Àwọn kan tẹ́ ń sọ pé ká ṣe sùúrù díẹ̀. For every day tá ń ṣe sùúrù, it is dragging us backwards. and it is really having a big impact on our life. Let's go back again quickly to the amalgamation. The Northern Protectorate and the Southern Protectorate were joined together on the 1st of January 1914 for the selfish interest. The unification was done for economic reasons. Títí di lẹ́ni nísìn, wọ́n sọ fún wa pé tí náà tó bá kóúnjẹ wá a lè ṣe. Do you know how big Oyo State is? Have you ever looked at the map of Oyo State and asked whether it can feed us and feed Africa? The whole of Oyo State, gbogbo Ìbàràpá, gbogbo Òkè Ògùn yẹn, ilẹ̀ tó jẹ́ ọlọ́ràá ló ń bẹ níbẹ̀. Tó yẹ pé tí wọ́n bá gbin iṣu síbẹ̀, iṣu kọ̀ọ̀kan á fẹ́ tó rí èèyàn mẹ́fà. Tomato, gbogbo nǹkan tí a lè máa fi jẹun. Wọ́n máa ń sọ fún wa pé tó ń jẹ ọ̀bá wá láti north, àwọn tó yẹ pé fertilizer lọ fi mix ilẹ̀ wọn, ilẹ̀ aṣálẹ̀ ni. Òòrùn tó wà níbẹ̀ ó le ju tilẹ̀ Yorùbá lọ. Wẹ́dà tí wá bẹ́tà ju wẹ́dà tí wọ́n lọ. Kò wá ń ṣe àwọn méjì yẹn tí wọ́n ń bá wa gbé Igbo àbí Yorùbá àbí Hausa ni wọ́n fẹ́ gbalẹ̀ mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́. I still don't understand when we talk about Yoruba nation. Mo mọ̀ pọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín like Igbo, èmi ò ní kẹ́ like wọn. But what we are saying is that we can fight them and defend and get our land if that is what is interest to them. But àwọn òyìnbó tó gbalẹ̀ mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́, kí lẹ mọ̀ tí Ọbásanjọ́ ti tà ní Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ part of ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Gbogbo tó ń pè ní Apapa Port, ẹ lọ wo fídíò Adéyínká grandson, ó sọ the same thing. We might not align, we might not agree, ọmọ Yorùbá kan náà làwa méjèèjì, but ọ̀nà tá fi jọ ń sọ̀rọ̀ ló yàtọ̀. Ó sọ the same thing pé Apapa Port ò sí lọ́wọ́ Yorùbá mọ́, ó wà lọ́wọ́ àwọn English. English ló ń control Apapa Port yín. Yet many of you wake up every day and you're asking yourself, kí ló ṣe wá ká fi ń jẹ́ kí ìyà máa jẹ wá? It's because you have refused to accept pé àsìkò tá wà yìí, àsìkò tá máa béèrè fún one thing and one thing alone, the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination. Any other thing, tẹ́ bá ń béèrè, you are wasting your time. The politicians are very smart, evil individuals. They are criminals, and they will remain so until they pull out of Nigeria on our behalf. Nobody should be talking about Nigeria. Let's give you another angle. There's what they call the Royal Niger. The Royal Niger was set up, is a company. The Royal Niger Company was a mercantile company chartered by the British government in the 19th century. Kí ló ń pè ní 19th century? The same 19th century was the establishment of Nigeria. Was set up company to operate in Nigeria as an entity tó fi ń ṣe business ara tiwọn. Títí di wákàtí in tó ṣì ń ṣẹlẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. The Royal Niger Company was a merchant company chartered by the British government in the 19th century. It was formed in 1879. As at that time, kò tí sí Nigeria. As at the 1879, what in prepare bó ṣe máa pín Africa ní 1884, tá mọ̀ sí Berlin Conference. Tó bá lọ minus 1884, kò yọ kúrò látara 1879. Wàá rí pé what in prepare báwọn ṣe máa darí wa rú. We had a big vast of empire. I think we need Oyo Empire. Oyo Empire ló dé Benin Republic. Oyo Empire ló dé Ghana, ló dé Togo. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin sisters wa, ẹ̀yin brothers wa tẹ́ wà ní gbogbo àwọn axes yẹn, torí gbogbo wọn ló ń bá mi sọ̀rọ̀. Akínyìn. The Royal Niger Company. Tó bá gbọ́ rí, wọ́n pè company kan ní the Royal Niger Company. Was a mercantile company chartered by the British government in the 19th century. It was formed in 1879 as the United African Company and renamed to the National African Company in 1881 and to the Royal Niger Company in 1886, founded by somebody called George Tubman Goldie. Mo kí ogbon tewa nílùú Abidjan. Kò cease operation until 1900 nígbà tó tà padà for less than £1 million. Many of you fixed Nigeria. You want to fix Nigeria? Who the hell are you? No, strength wo lo ní, ìwé wo ló ń kà, education background wo lo ní, tí bàbá ẹ tí kò fix Nigeria, ìwọ ló fẹ́ wá bá wọn fix Nigeria. Yes, bá wọn ṣe politics tó bá lè bá wọn ṣe, ìtẹ́ bá lè rí jẹ níbẹ̀, ẹ̀yin náà jẹ tiyín kúrò níbẹ̀. Northerners ti ń jẹ, ó tójọ́ mẹ́ta, Jonathan jẹ tiẹ̀, Yar'Adua jẹ tiẹ̀, tí Tinubu náà bá fẹ́ jẹ tiẹ̀ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹ̀mẹ̀wẹ̀, ẹ jẹ dáadáa. Àmọ́ tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán, ẹni tó bá fẹ́ dúró sí Nàìjíríà nígbà yẹn, ó ṣeé ṣe kó fi EFCC kó fi ilé ẹ mú just like bí Tinubu náà ṣe ń fi EFCC fi ilé àwọn kan. Is that the kind of life we're asking for? At what age? Ní ọdún wo la fi máa ṣe gbogbo ràkàtíà yẹn bí ẹran aṣẹ́wó? Is that what we want to be doing? Kí government kan dé káwọn tó mọra wọn kọjọ ṣèjọba kó máa jọ ṣe. But tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán, it will take you all, not me, because I don't live in Nigeria, but àwọn ò ní dúró dè yẹn torí pé tá bá dúró dè yẹn àtèmi àtiwọ ìyà máa jẹ wá. I can decide not to come to Nigeria. Kí ló wà Nigeria? I can decide to ilé ayé pọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ lọ. The world is a beautiful place. So let's move swiftly and talk about the Royal Niger because I have just about 10 minutes, if not less than that. Like I said earlier, it was established for the British purpose. The company existed for a comparative short time from 1979 till the 1900. After 1900, yẹn ló kù 14 years, tó máa amalgamate in Nigeria, but was instrumental in the formation of the colonial Nigeria, as it enabled the British Empire to establish control over the lower Niger against the German competition led by Bismarck during the 1890s. They were using us for their own different purposes. Bí German ṣe ń try láti fẹ́ jí, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Britain náà fẹ́ jí, wọ́n wá sọ Africa di in tí ó jẹ́ bàbá tí wọ́n ló ní. It's also in the 1900s. It was controlled territory, became the Southern Nigerian Protectorate, níbi tọ́rọ̀ Southern Protectorate jáde nìyẹn, which was united with the Northern Nigerian Protectorate to form the colony and the Protectorate of Nigeria in 1914, which eventually gained independence. We never got independent. Tí èèyàn kan bá sọ fún ẹ pé you have independence, please say you do not have independence. Greetings to you all in Germany and as many of you. I will not be able to mention names because this is a very short transmission that will end in the next 4 minutes. The British knew what they were doing. They were very smart. United African Company, Richard Lander first explored the area of Nigeria as the servant of Hugh Clapton. In 1830, it returned to River with his brother John. In 1832, he returned again without his brother to establish a trading post for the African Steamship Company. Nígbà yẹn lọ lo coal. Ìgbà yẹn ni coal jẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tó wà important láti fi ṣe industry táwọn ń lò. Coal was coming enough from Enugu and some other part of Nigeria as at that time. At the confluence of the Niger and Benue River, the expedition failed with 40 of the 49 members dying of fever or wounds from the native attacks. Kò ń ṣe ní láti attack wọn. But today, how do we attack them? A máa fi ọgbọ́n àtọpọlọ ṣe because they are not ready to pull out. What lynch mọ́ and they don't want to pull out. Àwa la máa gé ibi tó bá jẹ́ problem yẹn la máa jù sínú igbó la máa jẹ́ kí àwọn fertilizer ilẹ̀ Yorùbá kó sọ wọ́n di fertilizer sínú ibẹ̀. You are not fighting because of Fulanis. You are fighting because the British support the control of Nigeria today. Gbogbo ní lèmi fi sọ kò sí nǹkan tó lè fi mí ṣe níbí báyìí. I know you will not be able to say that in Nigeria because the NBC will not tolerate this kind of conversation on the radio station. But the fact remains the fact. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe try to fix Nigeria. Nobody can fix Nigeria. I'm going to move swiftly. There were no voyage for 3 years following the Laird's death, but the establishment of the West African Company was soon followed by several other firms. The competition reduced price to the point that profits were minimal. Arriving in the region in 1877 was George Goldie, another criminal guy. Ọmọ Britain. Kódà ó ní wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ kọ ìtàn rárá. George Goldie argued for the amalgamation of the surviving British firms into a single monopolistic chartered company, a method contemporaries suppose had been buried with the ultimate failure of the East Indian Company. Bó ṣe ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ tiwa, bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ló ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ àwọn India. But àwa ti gba ìgbàkúgbà. We collected everything from them, but we allow our tradition and culture to be thrown into the bin. Today, many Nigerians are a very confused human being. The reason why you're confused is because you know the truth and you don't want the truth to come to you. You are waiting for your churches, your mosque, or your traditional institution to come and tell you the truth. What I am saying on a daily basis is the only truth and nothing but the truth. The West are part and remain part and parcel of the problem that is getting Africa to where it is today. A very good morning and enjoy the rest of the week. My name is OLAYOMI KOIKI. We cannot go more than this. Remember to share the program and join us some other time when we come back live again. Yòrùbá nation remain the only solution to the problems of everything that we're experiencing today called Nigeria. Nigeria is a crime scene and nothing will change as it remains a crime scene until the dissolution of Nigeria. It will happen in our lifetime. If you are saying that it's not going to happen in your lifetime, you will die and you will not witness that new nation when it comes. Thank you so much. A very great morning. Bye for now. I am OLAYOMI KOIKI, known as Koikimedia, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Have a very good morning. Bye for now.